And to learn more about the upcoming Global Venture Summit that will be held in Bali, we have in our studio Ahmed Shabana. He is the managing partner at Park Pine Capital. Ahmed, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Thomas, for having me.
So you're the organizer as well of this event, right?
Yes, the Park Pine Capital is.
So before we talk about the Bali Summit, the Venture Capital Global Venture Summit, how do you see the industries or the sector of startups ecosystem globally?
Right. So I think there is a great move towards investing more also out of the U.S. So a lot of VCs are currently seeing, as you said, Asia and Southeast Asia an opportunity, especially with the low customer acquisition costs and the models that has been copied from Silicon Valley. So they tend to hedge their position between what's happening in the U.S. now and the growth in the region.
How about the global, this venture capital professionals in terms of, in general, of managing all this, like founders, corporates, for example, or policymakers?
Yeah. I mean, that's why we created the agenda of the Global Venture Summit around what you just said. So we have the corporate venture capital focus, and then we have the global unicorns, and then we have the regular startups. People are just starting a team of one or two. So I think every fund has its own structure, from micro funds to just corporate funds with corporate LPs to just pre-seed or seed funds. So, but definitely the region here has a lot of appetite to all what I just said. So
speaking of appetite,
yeah.
So how fast has it been in terms of growth of this sector?
I mean, it's right now a lot of money is coming to the region, and that's why a lot of investors are coming to the Global Venture Summit and to Southeast Asia to see what's happening and co-invest with the leading VCs in the region, because of course they're going to be guiding them with a lot of laws, a lot of policies, as you just mentioned. So it's good to lead them and educate them about what's happening, and I think the best way is to invite them in Bali and let them come.
Yeah, and speaking about appetite again, emerging markets are set to attract over $100 billion US dollars in venture capital in 2020, and that's quite large in terms of targets. So how do you see this?
I mean, it's great in terms of numbers, but there's still a lot of exit problems, because last year was the lowest number of IPOs or exits. So I think people are excited this year more with the more momentum is being gained after last year and the year before. And again, they're only putting their bets in Asia. So we're going to see more, hopefully, exits, more IPOs, and more investments in Southeast Asia.
So how about the crowdfunding sector in Asia, if you in terms of prospects so far?
Yeah, I mean, that's an amazing approach and untapped opportunity, because you have a lot of fragmented payment solutions, and I think we have a great speaker coming. His name is Chance Barnett, the crowdfunder CEO, and he wants to work with the government and work with a lot of the startups that are in the fintech sector and the big banks to create this movement. He's been copying this in Mexico, and I think Indonesia is a great place to start something big. And imagine crowdfunding for all these startups at a micro level or areas other than Jakarta. It's going to be great for the economy. And
one of the speakers are technopreneurs from Indonesia as well.
Yeah.
So how do you think the technopreneurs so far in Asia?
I mean, it's great, especially if you're going to have some mentorship from the people from the U.S. and
Silicon Valley.
Exactly, and people who had success stories, and to see how to localize the same models that are successful, and how just to copy it here with a little bit of a twist and more funding. So.
And this is like more than a 3-day event with more than 25 Silicon Valley's VC, more than 50 international angels, and more than 100 corporates as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you manage to, to make this first event, which is huge, by the way, 3 days in a row, with meeting all these people?
Right. So we're planning with the Global Venture Summit to make it as big as, let's say, the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, or I would be very optimistic and say the Oscars in Hollywood in terms of attention. But we want to make this in Bali every year, and we expect by 2020 it's going to be one of the most I would say you go and there's a lot of funding to the company, so the most well-funded conference. So we've been planning this for over a year, and there's been a lot of logistics behind it. There's great partners in Indonesia like Kajora, Convergent Ventures. A lot of the corporates are supporting it to make it as big as it can get, because year one is very important. And we're trying to build something that's that makes the attention and motivates a lot of the local startups as well as the international. So we have a lot of international applicants for the pitch battle, which is around $50,000 on day 3, which we're very excited about it.
And you'll have several agendas as well in this 3 days event. So what are the main issues that will be addressed mainly?
Yeah, so I think, as you said earlier, fintech is very important. So this is going to be addressed, corporate innovation and how to copy the models here and how to make it work good. We have a lot of like the e-commerce as well, how to use data from the previous e-commerce success stories. We're going to have also the Brush Capital from private equity. They have a lot of success models in different parts of the world, and they're very active to take part in what's happening. So yeah, so definitely getting a lot of people, a lot of investors aligned from different parts of the world to power entrepreneurs and people who are just starting. So it's not just for established companies. So even if 1 or 2 people have ideas and they have a great team and a great potential, we support them very well.
So any kind of targeted outcome that you really need to get from this event?
Right. I think there's going to be perhaps a lot of fund-of-funds transactions because a lot of U.S. funds want to actively get involved, but the know-how and the connection with the locals is best known from the local VCs here. So I think we're going to see that, and we might see a lot of pre-seed or seed checks before people leave from Bali. So we're going to definitely be excited to share this news once it's over, and even plan for bigger and better for 2018.
So you will make this kind of event annually, right? So in terms of follow-up, like smaller events after this, is there anything like a workshop basically from, for example, from the U.S. Silicon Valley towards the several countries in Asia, for example? We are talking with some local, with the government actually, to make something like that. We're going to announce shortly, maybe during the GVS, to do this. But if nothing that's announced for the public, we're definitely going to bring more workshops for 2018. So maybe probably like a week full of events before the 3 days of the GVS 2018. So one last question. So you've been, launching this news about making this event. So how has the feedback coming in so far?
People are, as you said, why are people interested to come to Indonesia? Why Bali? And the simple question is, it's easier to let people come to Bali than any of the cosmopolitan cities. So yeah, I think people are just excited to make it happen and make the most out of it. So I'm inviting everybody to just come and join us.
To get as the best networking in terms of like startups and all the players in that sector.
Exactly, because if you connect with people in Bali, it's more on a personal level, and this is how you establish good relationship, and then it converts.
All right, Ahmed Shabana, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Tommy.